Hello, friends. This is Charles Bird, and welcome to the December 27th, 2021 edition of Rant-Om Thoughts, where sacred cows are grilled and killed for your whining and dining pleasure. And this is my sidekick wizard. As you can see, I have now found a solution to the problem of him climbing all over me when I try to work on my computer, record videos, or if ever I'm on Zoom calls. I've turned my bib overalls into a little kangaroo pouch for my little Joey here, and he likes it. All right, the Modesto Bee and its parent company, the McClatchy organization, ran a series of articles condemning anti-lockdown demonstrators, citizens who are frustrated and upset at having the things that gave their lives meaning and joy, taken from them and having their livelihoods destroyed, and lumping concerned parents who are worried about what it is that's being taught to their children in the classroom, together with white supremacist, National Socialist street gangs. And I thought this was very unjust. One of those articles wasn't even really an article. It was basically just a copy paste of the Southern Paranoia Lie Center's list of supposed hate groups. And according to the SPLC, any entity whose politics are to the right of Pol Pot is a hate group, is an extremist organization, domestic terrorists. Woo. So, Angela McArdle, a friend of mine who we did the town hall with a while back, the most watched video on my channel, suggested that I write an op-ed refuting this. And I said, okay, but I'm not very optimistic that they'll run it. Well, guess what? They ran it. I get an email back from their opinion editor, Garth Stapley, telling me that they'll put it in the Sunday edition. So I'm going to put a link to that below in the show description. Now, everyone who's read it has had good things to say about it, and I appreciate the accolades, but there are critics and who that need to be answered. So okay, I'm just gonna pause the video while I search around. Okay, so one criticism I got was with somebody harping on me referring to the regime of Adolf Hitler as National Socialist. Well, guess what, comrade? Nazi is short for National Socialist. National Socialism is still socialism. The economy of Nazi Germany was very command and control. any differences between German National Socialism and Soviet-style communism, it's merely superficial. You know, they're not polar opposites at all. The only differences between those two systems are the uniforms that are worn, the songs that are sung, and the scapegoats that they pin all of the blame for the world's problems on. Now, with communists, it's the evil capitalists. With the Nazis, it's the evil Jewish capitalists. Yeah. Okay, and a person who had a similar complaint. I again explained to him that racism, white supremacy, is collectivist. It's leftist. There's nothing right wing or conservative about it, because the real spectrum, as I've explained in previous videos, it's not a gridded square or a horseshoe or a circle. It's a straight line. And on the extreme right, you have anarchy, and on the extreme left, you have anthills and beehives. Actually, the most left-wing regime that existed in the history of mankind was the Inca Empire, which was the closest humanity ever got to resembling, say, a beehive or a termite nest or an anthill. People were given specific roles and functions in that society. And if you tried to carve out your own fate, seek your own destiny, you were punished or ostracized. Yeah. Yep. And there were people who think that the natives had it so great before Columbus came. Yeah. So let's address some more of these criticisms. Daryl Wilkins in the Modesto Bee comment thread said, "Move to South Korea or China and champion the cause there. You'll have much more credibility." The whole purpose of us doing what we're doing is so we don't end up there. And I believe he meant North Korea when he said that. Then there's Tammy Moron. Tammy Moron says, "Clean your house. Don't ask us to excuse you for the squalor. Dudes are in tactical gear at a school. If you want legitimacy, denounce these types of aggressors and don't allow them to attend civil meetings. Otherwise, the company and keeping all that." Well, Tammy Moron, if you read the link, the article, if you actually followed the link, took the time and energy to take a mouse, guide the cursor to the link, click, and then read, and scroll while you read, you would have read the first few paragraphs where I did just that. Leah McKeon. Extremism, fundamentalism, and cultism is wrong. Growing up in a home like that for a child is a form of child abuse. Yeah, cultism. This Simon Says crap that we're getting shoved down our throats. That is not a cult. Or this Howard Zinn Project 1619 programming kids to hate America and hate their parents and just hate the West in general. Is that isn't a cult? Yeah, the same person also talks about the school board members being forced to resign because of threats and all that, and the link that she throws up as a quote unquote quote source doesn't confirm any of it. This is not a very smart individual. And we already addressed what Joaquin Murrieta, obviously not his real name. Though, like his namesake, he did lose his. It's very apparent that he lost his head. So, that's what I have to say to the critics. And I will link to that thread below in the show description. A lot's been going on with the Stanislaus County Libertarian Party affiliate. We had our first winter holiday bash, or if it isn't the first, it's probably the first we've had in a while. It was at a local Round Table Pizza. More people than expected showed up, and I hope it's the first of many such social gatherings. Don't know if there's any. Haven't really planned or thought of anything for January or February, but I know at some point in April we will be doing the second annual Jefferson dinner, and I'm hoping people will show up for that. That will be tentatively planned for the Saturday after Thomas Jefferson's birthday. Yeah. And the reason why I think I might have already talked about this in a previous video, but the reason why I want to start doing annual Jefferson dinners and try to get that as started as a tradition in the Libertarian Party is that the Republican Party, they have the Lincoln dinner, and the Democrats they had something that used to be called the Jefferson Jackson dinner. Well, the Democrats are pretty much distancing themselves from Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson. At this point, even Jimmy Carter would be too problematic for them. So I decided, why not appropriate Jefferson? I mean, he is a very important figure in libertarian history. I mean, and I remember seeing T-shirts as long ago as, say, 20 years ago that had a picture of Thomas Jefferson's face, and next to it a caption reading, "I was libertarian before it was cool." Yeah. But going into the new year, top priorities, youth outreach. I want to set up tables at the gun show. I want to set up tables at the farmers market. Thing is, I would need volunteers for that stuff. Somebody who could man the tables when I'm not there. And that's going to be a challenge. And I still want to do voter registration drives, paid membership drives. Yeah, I mean there's some really exciting stuff going on with the Mises Caucus. Some of it I'm not really at liberty to get into publicly, but when it does come down the pipeline, I will pretend to be just as excited as everyone else, because it is very exciting stuff that is coming down the pipeline. The future is looking bright. The Democrats and Republicans, they're racing each other down to the bottom. They are. The Democrats are doubling down on COVID authoritarianism, even though the science, the real science, not the Pfizer, GlaxoSmithKline, Johnson and Johnson finance science is proving that stuff wrong. They're still doubling down on that. They're still making themselves deliberately off-putting to the working class that used to be their base. Meanwhile, the Republicans, it's just neocons and Trumpkins fighting each other over the dead, bloated corpse of the GOP. And the neocons, they just want to cling to their forever war, and the Trumpkins, they're just going to keep clinging to Trump and this phony baloney, stolen election narrative. And that's not a winning strategy. I mean, the reason why Glenn Youngkin won in Virginia was because he distanced himself from Trump. He showed that Republicans can win without Trump. Well, I'm going off on a tangent, but as I was saying, the two parties are racing to the bottom, and it looks like the 20s are going to roar for the Libertarian Party, especially after Reno, when the Mises Caucus takes over and turns it into Ron Paul Revolution 2.0. And I look very, very forward to being a part of that. So does Wizard. All right. I think I will expand a little bit on Glenn Youngkin and his victory in Virginia. Yeah, he did show that Republicans can win without Trump. Unfortunately, electing a bushy, moderate Republican to the governorship of Virginia is not necessarily the win that some people might think it is. I mean, we're already seeing signs that it's going to be more of the same. But yeah, Youngkin won because he distanced himself from Trump. The recall in California failed because the media portrayed it as Elder versus Newsom instead of we the people versus Newsom. And Elder tried to market himself as mini Trump. And, Donald Trump and Trump's policies, which are garbage, just aren't welcome here in California. And that's what happened. Okay. Masters of the Universe Season 2 dropped on Netflix. Looks like somebody listened to the fans because it turned out He-Man wasn't killed off. That whole sequence where Prince Adam calls down the power of Grayskull without the sword and turns into He-Hulk, that pretty much made it all worth watching. Got to see Dune. Tried to enjoy it, but the theater etiquette isn't really all that great in this part of the country, so I might as well just see it at home. But what I saw of it, I liked thoroughly. Stellan Skarsgård, his portrayal of Baron Harkonnen, interesting. I just wonder if he and Denis Villeneuve, deliberately made the Baron resemble Marlon Brando's portrayal of Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now. That's immediately what I thought of when I saw that. I do look forward to part 2. In the future, there will be more episodes of Convo. We might get Ben Weir back. I look forward to having another conversation with him. I am still looking for guests. So, email me, contact me via Facebook Messenger, Twitter DM. If you think you have something interesting you want to showcase. All right. Oh, and I mentioned Angela McArdle. She did this excellent debate with Ilya Somin regarding vaccine mandates and passports. She totally crushed that debate. Please watch it. Please make it viral because there is a worry that the powers that be at YouTube might yank it. So that's going to be it for now. Think while it's still legal. Smoke them if you got them. Reopen America. Vote gold. The future is looking bright. Look at Wizard. You little goofball. All right. Till next time.